I do have to wonder about myself at times. By the way, hi everyone, if you're new here, you're not going to see me in the video, I'm just going to talk. So, I was filming for about 2 minutes, and then I turned and looked at the camera as I was walking out the room. Wasn't even recording. Second time in the last few days I've done that. I thought, I went in there because I thought I left my, what's it called? What I got out my advent calendar in there, but I've already taken it upstairs. My anxiety is really bad. I feel panicked. I feel like I'm going to be sick. And I'm trying to film to try and distract myself. But I don't want to... I don't know, I've got to like get ready for the day. And I'm just like, ugh. Oh, my fan's on. Do you know what? I've said that before. I've said it before. Oh, God. If I've not already said it, you're not going to see me in the video. I'm just talking. I have said before that basically the fan sounds louder on the recording than it does in person. Just about to brush my hair. I want to show you my hairbrush. I don't know if I've shown you in a haul. But how cool is this? And then it like moves to the shape of your head. Normally, this is my normal day-to-day brush. I've had one of these for a long time. It works really well on dry hair. And I do really like it. And for when my hair's wet, Tangle Teas, I've got 2 of these, but this is the one I predominantly use. Silver and then lilac. You can see I use it. It's got wet hair, not wet hair in it, it's got hair in it. But that's my wet brush. I mean, it works on dry hair, but it works really better than any of my other brushes on wetter. And this is what I typically use on my dry hair. I've had one of these for like 10 years, not that particular one. And then that's when I do my fringe and my front of my hair, because I can't do it in my hair properly. I think if I trained myself and like kept doing it, I could eventually do it. And I've only recently in the last few months started to like do my fringe and the front of my hair. And that was when I badly needed a haircut and my fringe cut. And I was trimming a little bit of my fringe, but not the side bits in case I messed up. So then if I messed the front bit up, I could like twist it into the side longer bits. But when it was getting long, I was blow drying it to make it sit in a certain way so I could still have a full fringe to some extent. I need to get ready for the day. I mean, it is practically lunchtime, so it is a Saturday as well, so I don't even know what I do on a Saturday because I'm just too anxious. I'll quickly tell you what's gone on. So obviously last night it was super windy, and I kept hearing banging and stuff, and kept waking me up, and because of things that have been happening and happened and whatever, my anxiety is really bad if I hear noises, because I think it might be this, it might be that, like things that have actually happened. And when you're like woken up at first, you're like, what the hell's going on? Because you don't automatically think, oh, it's the wind, especially if you're in a deep sleep or you're just totally out of it. So it just kept happening. But every time it's been super windy, there's never been anything major happened, you know, like outside the house. Like once a bin tipped over, but it didn't fully fall over, just because they were lined up. It just fell this way and it weren't fully on the floor. Sometimes things blow around the back garden, but there's never been anything major. Anyway, went downstairs. The dog never typically wants to go straight out unless she's desperate for a number 2, which she wasn't. So, making like my coffee, and like I have a croissant on a Saturday typically. I mean, that's not like guaranteed, but that's what I like at the moment. I'll probably get sick of it at some point, but I do enjoy those croissants. And then I normally like to take my medication. I couldn't find one of them. I don't know where I put it. I need to actually find that. I don't want to forget about that. And what was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say. Oh my god. My anxiety's just killing me right now, honestly. I'm trying to distract myself and film, but I really need to start doing my skincare and stuff. And my croissant finishes, and then the dog's like, oh, I wouldn't mind going out now. So I'm walking through the house, go to the back door, and as I'm literally starting to open the back door, I notice one of the back fence panels is completely blown off, and it's not inside the garden because it's fixed from outside the garden, and I couldn't see it, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't let the dog out, because even though the fence panel is on a low wall, the dog would be straight over that wall and off she'd go. So Mum to shut the back door, and I'm like, oh my god. My dad's still in bed at that time, and I'm like, I'm not going to get anyone out today. Like, that people who generally do stuff like that, unless they're desperate for work, then obviously you don't want them. I mean, if you can literally get someone out within half an hour, they're desperate for work. So, you know, you might not want to employ them because they might not be very good. Who knows? So I'm thinking, oh god, I'm going to have to go and wake him up. I mean, he's typically up hours before this time. And I mean, I don't even know what time it was. It might have been going up for 11 at that point, because I'd been downstairs a while. And it actually might have been after 11. I don't even know. Like, I can't even think right now. Like, I'm literally shaking. I feel like I'm going to throw up. My heart's racing. I feel anxious. I feel panicked. And I'm like, oh, do you know, like, I don't know what to do myself. So I'm like pacing up and down. I'm like, I don't really want to wake him up. But what if we don't get up till 1 o'clock? She needs to go out. I don't feel comfortable walking off the street. Oh god, my anxiety's really, really bad. I'm just really struggling with this. So I eventually make my way upstairs. Well, I first shout him up the stairs, but I know that's not going to wake him. And I'm walking up the stairs, and I'm like outside on the landing, really reluctant to knock on the door. But I'm thinking, even if I was literally ready to go out with the dog and I felt comfortable leaving my house, she still will probably want to go out, sometimes immediately when we get back. So it needs sorting. I know he can't physically do it. I can't physically do it. And I'm thinking, well, I knew one of our nice neighbours, because there are, my dad has some friends on the street. I'm not naming them, but obviously this particular one is already been to our house today, so people will know. Anyway, so I knock on the door, and I'm knocking, and I'm like saying his name, and he's like, who's knocking at the front door? And I'm like, there's no one at the door, it's me knocking. I went, there's something, I can't remember, I think I said, like, we've got an emergency, because that is an emergency. Like, if it was like something other than that, it wouldn't really be a massive emergency. But the dog sometimes is in and out 20 times a day. In this weather, she doesn't particularly want to be in and out, but she will go out 5 to 10 times today. So obviously it needs sorting, and like, it is a Saturday, which makes it more difficult. Obviously, oh god, my anxiety's just going to be the death of me in a minute. Honestly, my head's racing, my heart's racing, and I'm just trying to think of what I need to say, and I can't keep filming because I genuinely need to get ready. So, he comes out of his room, putting his dressing gown on, and he's like, who's at the front door? And I'm like, no one's at the front door, it was me knocking on your door. And he was just so confused. He must have been in a deep sleep, because he literally believed there was someone at the front door. And even though I've told him twice now it was me knocking, he still believed there was someone at the front door. So he walks into his living room and sits down, and I said, the back fence panel has blown off, and I can't see it, because I didn't go out, because if I go out, first it's pouring down, secondly the garden's waterlogged because of drainage issues. I've got brand new slippers on, I didn't go out, and obviously I'd have difficulty to get out because the dog wants to go out, and if I go out she's going to wonder why she can't go out. So, and you can't even see it from the window either. So I'm like, obviously we're not going to get anyone decent out today. I know such and such, one of the nice neighbours, would probably come and do a temporary fix. So he rung them and they didn't answer, but they don't always answer. And if you text them, it can take them hours to reply. They're one of those people, I think they're not really bothered by the phones. You know, some people are glued to them and just are constantly on them. They're not, I just don't think they're particularly that bothered about going on their phone. So that's why they probably don't check it that often. And that's why they, like, do you know what I mean? Anyway. So he went and got dressed, and he was still, like, very confused. And I'm like, you're going to have to take the dog with you. Why do I need to take the dog? I went, the dog needs a wee. I said, you can't expect the dog to hold on to a wee all day. I said, if you go out and she didn't go out, there's going to be an issue here. She thought she was going out anyway because he come downstairs, and typically when he comes downstairs on a Saturday or a Sunday, he typically takes her with him. Whatever time he comes down, whether it's the afternoon, the morning, the evening, he typically will take her out. So he puts the harness on, and I'm like, do you have a poo bag? No. And that's a rarity because he always has a poo bag, because typically she waits till my walk to do her poo. She rarely ever poos for him. Don't know why, she used to, but now, no, I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to do a massive one on a hill, so then someone has to climb up the hill to get it. Anyway, so he goes round and he, like, gets the neighbour, and the neighbour walks across to it and lifts it up, and it's not broken. I don't know what the issue is. Obviously we're going to have to get someone else out to give it a permanent fix to it, but I mean, I'm actually surprised it fell off, because the other side of the fence there's a van parked, not against it. If it was against it, it might not have, well, it would have still fallen off, but no one would be able to see into the house, because basically you can now see in the house into the conservatory, basically, if you walk down there. And there'll be certain people that will walk down there just to be nosy and look in the house. So they said they'll come around with the tools, and they'll just put it back on and, like, fix it into place. But I think it's going to be a temporary fix. But obviously, as long as the dog can go out, and as long as it doesn't blow back off. See, now I'm going to have to check every time. And the thing is, if my dad would have gone to the back door, he wouldn't have even noticed, and he would have let her out. That would have been a massive issue, because she would have been off like a shot. He would have come back in and just carried on, and I would have eventually gone, why's the dog not come back in? That's a bit weird. And she wouldn't have been out there, because she would have done a runner, because that's a typical husky thing. So the neighbour came round, and he couldn't find the wall plugs, and because they've got people in where they keep their tools, they can't get to until the people that are in doing stuff leave. And my dad didn't know where his wall plugs are, which does not surprise me one bit. And until there's wall plugs, the fence panel can't go back up, which is an issue because of the dog. Even if I take her out, she's going to want to come back and potentially go out within 20 minutes to an hour. So I can't be in and out because I don't feel safe or comfortable. My anxiety just probably wouldn't let me. I mean, my anxiety is really bad now, and I'm trying my best to just keep going, but I have to keep going. But I'm like, I don't even know how to explain it. I literally don't know how to explain it. So I said to my dad, you could go and get some, because that's going to be the quickest option. I said, you need to go and get your car anyway, and you need to walk the dog. The dog's getting a shorter walk off him, because he's, you know, where his car is, it's not a massive walk, which then puts more pressure on me later on to do a much longer walk than what I typically do, which is a long walk anyway, and it's pouring down and it's windy. I'm physically tired. My anxiety's horrific now. I mean, it worked great anyway, but after all of this, and it actually got worse because my dad was like, okay, I'll walk her to the car, I'll go and get some wall plugs, etc. And he went to the front door with the dog because he's obviously taken her. He had the lead in his hand. He opened the front door. The dog was by the front door. He had the lead in his hand, aka he did not have the lead attached to the dog. As soon as he opened that door, because I could see the lead in his hand, I thought I was having a heart attack. The bloody way my heart reacted in my chest, it was literally, it hurt. Like, it really hurt. Like, it worked just like when your heart goes into your throat, that feeling. It was just like, it's ironic because a couple of weeks ago in a video that I filmed, I said, oh, she's not escaped this year. And it is him. He's the reason why she has escaped, but she hasn't escaped this year. And, like, even now I feel physically sick because I know it's been down to me mainly how she's got caught, but it's never an easy catch. There's only been once where I got her within a couple of minutes. Once. And I don't know how it was that quick that day because she won't come back to me. She'll go to a stranger because she's like, oh, the stranger's going to stroke me. The stranger might give me something. Me, she knows I'm going to put her back on her lead and take her home. That's why she won't come back to me. But that day, when I caught her in a couple of minutes, she literally ran to me. I don't know why. I bet when she got to me, she's like, oh, shit. Anyway, oh, God. He immediately shut it. She had her head out the door, and he immediately shut it. He didn't shut her head in the door, by the way, because as it was shutting, she pulled her head back in. I'm like, I can't believe you just nearly did that. He's like, oh, I'm not thinking straight. And I'm thinking, my God, I was literally, I've got slippers on, fleecy pyjama bottoms and a t-shirt. I mean, I would have grabbed my coat because it was by the door, but I would have had to run down the street in slippers, in the rain, and I could have been out there an hour trying to catch her, all because he's still clearly asleep, because he's not fully awake. I mean, the walk to the cars should wake him up. And I'm like, do you not want to drink? You've not had a drink today. Do you not want to take your medication? Like, it'll only take a few minutes. He's like, no. And then I went, have you got your wallet? No, I've not got my wallet. He didn't even have his phone, so he couldn't even pay using his phone. So then I'm having to go upstairs to search for his wallet, which was in a pair of trousers that are on his bed. I go in his bedroom, there's about 5 pairs of trousers on his bed, and I'm like, which bloody one's that, is it? Then I'm having to get his phone from somewhere else, and his glasses. So if I wouldn't have asked those questions, I did ask if he had his car key before he almost let the dog out, which he did have his car key. So he would have had to go to his car, and he would have then had to come home, and then he still would have sent me upstairs, because he is struggling with his health massively. He could do with a stair lift. Have you seen how slow stair lifts go? Just saying, I thought they go up like, I don't mean fast, but you know, they go so bloody slow, you could probably have a 10-minute nap as you go up the bloody stairs. So off he's gone. I had to wait till the dryer had the washer had finished, because I needed to get some of it in the dryer so it could start drying, and I've come up here and I've been talking for 20 minutes. So he could be back in the next 10 to 20 minutes. He's not took his house key, and I've had to lock the front door because I'm upstairs. So, but when he's got the wall plugs, it basically means the fence can be fixed. The dog can go out back. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's going to be fully fixed. I think they're just going to get it back on, make it secure. Obviously, we'll know why it's I mean, do you know what? That fence panel wasn't even loose. So that is the confusing part, because that one wasn't. The one that's one further on is got, well, it's not loose, but it is loose to some extent, but that's right next to the house, whereas that one, I mean, literally the conservatory is right next to that loose one. So that's potentially why the wind's not been able to get hold of that one. but the one on is literally just after the house finishes. But obviously anyone who walks past can literally now see into our house. I mean, some people just like looking in people's houses, which is, you know, spying and very disgusting. I mean, who would want to watch people in the house? It's just very disturbing that people would just do that. And like I said, there's a van parked there, so you'd think that the wind would be blocked out, but obviously the wind has gotten in the garden from the opposite direction and pushed on it. But the crazy thing was, that wasn't even loose. So that's what's confusing me. When we moved in, I don't know how long after we moved in, I don't know if it was the same year, but one of the back ones along the driveway actually, did it come off fully, or was it hanging off? I think it may have potentially fully come off, I can't remember. And my dad had to nail it back on, and that one is actually loose. And I kept saying to him, like, it needs the nails tight, like whatever. And he's like, oh, I'll put some screws in. He's been saying that for about a year now, and it is quite loose. So if any came off, I would fully expect that it would be that one, and it wasn't. So yeah, so he's gone. As soon as he gets back, he'll obviously go and let the neighbour know that he's got the wall plugs, and hopefully it'll be sorted. I'm now gonna, I think I'm gonna have a shower. It might help. I'm gonna have a cool shower because I feel like I need something to like shock my body a little bit to hopefully ease some of my symptoms. You know, like if your body's got something else to think about. Although this might make the situation worse, because him almost letting the dog escape made me feel a million times worse, and like my heart is still racing because of that. And that was like half an hour ago now, so yeah, I'm still like not coping very well with that, because the dog escaping is the worst feeling in the world, because she has no road sense, and I'd be devastated if something actually happened to her. Luckily nothing's happened, and luckily he realised, but he didn't even like want a glass of water. I'm like, you should have a drink. Oh no, I don't want to drink. But I think the fresh air from the walk to the car should wake him up, because it'd wake me up. But I am going to have a shower. I'm hoping that it helps me in some way and not makes me feel worse, because I'm not coping very well right now. And like I said, it was made much worse when he almost let the dog out without a lead on. So yeah, I mean, when we get that panel fixed properly, they're going to have to check all the other panels, because obviously if they're here, it's not another charge for them to come. And if like that back one definitely needs sorting, because he keeps saying, oh, I'll do it, it's easy, I'll do it. And like, well, you've not done it. Yeah, well, I'm going to do it. He never does it. He doesn't do anything. And I'm like, well, I'll do it. No, I'll do it. I'm like, well, you've not done it. Yeah, well, I'm going to do it. I'm like, yeah, but it's hanging off. Oh, it'll be fine. It won't fall off. Yeah, one that wasn't loose fell off. So if that one falls off, it's, you know, it's the same issue. The dog's going to be able to get out. So on that note, I am going to go. Let me know if, like, whatever the date is, at the 7th, if any of your fences fell off, if anything fell off, if anything got damaged, let me know. Let me know if you've ever had a fence panel fall off, or all the fence completely. Can you imagine if it all had fallen off? Oh my God, can you imagine if I'd walked to the back door and literally every panel had come off? I don't know why I'm laughing at that, because I think I'd have some kind of mental breakdown, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I'm thankful the main fence down the middle didn't fall over, because that would be hell on earth. But can you imagine if all 5 did fall off? Not that I want it to happen, because I'm just thankful it was just, well, I'm not thankful it was just 1. Well, I am thankful it's just 1, because it's better than 5, but my God. And the wind wasn't even Actually, it's the wind gusts that does it, because the wind's something like 22 miles an hour, but it's the gusts that do it. But we've had much higher wind gusts than that, and nothing's ever happened like that. But years ago, like I said, the back one did come off, but obviously that was loose, and it must have been to do with wind, because they don't just go, oh, I'm just going to come off. But on that note, God, I've got to do something. I just can't keep sitting here, because my anxiety's just, I don't even know. I can't even, I want my heart to stop racing. I want to stop feeling like I'm going to be sick everywhere. Can I go to bed and like wake up and it's Saturday morning again and there's no fence panel on the ground? I mean, it is stood up now. But don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day and thank you for watching.